thank you. They did approve to go forward on the grant for the van. I know that was, Sandy, you can chime in on that, but I believe that was approved the other night at the last council meeting.
Yes, it was indeed, and that resolution, and again, when I sent you the information on the rural health transformation program, I also sent the final proposal for the van mobile, and it's actually $209,369.64 for the total. We asked for a resolution because we didn't have a final bid for 225. So I'll check the budget. We have to redo that, but it came under what we were hoping, what we were looking at, and that is the mobile response, non-emergency response van converted to or modified to also be a mobile clinic with the sink and a diagnostic center and a couple other things, its wheelchair as well as stretcher. And I sent you the detailed bid as well as the floor plan of the van itself.
Yep.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, it's good.
I know one thing, listening to the council meeting the other night, there were a lot of questions about like what I call the third out, and that is when, both ambulances from our fire department are out and they need that third out, that additional ambulance or additional group to come in and cover another ambulance. And, they got into the discussion about the van and all that and how that related and them having a better understanding of how the staffing works at the fire department for ambulatory, because that's why they're not available to do these transfers, non-emergency transfers especially, because they have to bring in another party, another group of guys, EMS, paramedic, but they have to bring them in from their off day to work that shift. And it's become, my son, when he lived in Eureka, was very involved in that, and go on a spur of the moment to the fire department to cover, but we don't have those paramedics and EMS so close anymore. We don't have a lot locally living there. A lot of them are coming in from different directions, so they're not able to cover that. So that made it even harder on the fire department. So this van could be such a crucial thing in that overall picture, and I believe they're very happy with us moving forward with this idea in that aspect. So, but the council didn't quite understand why there was a need for the van to a degree, because they didn't understand why the fire department wasn't able to, and there's the clarity of that is that it requires additional staffing in order to make this happen for them. I had an experience with a transfer that it was 8 hours to transfer a relative to Little Rock, not necessarily an emergency, but the time period from when they ordered to have him transferred, not from here, from Washington, from actually the VA, but that just shows you how hard it is today to get transfers lined up. And, we feel for you folks at the hospital because we know there's a lot of time delay because there's just not availability. So anyway.
And Gary's been, very helpful. He said he even has some extra equipment, such as gathering dust and buying other ancillary things. Contact him, and when we go for our ALS certification, he offered to help with that, which is great. And he and I are both going to be at the city council meeting next Monday. So,
Next Monday.
and I will forward the proposal to them so they understand.
Right. Yeah, I think Gary can point out, and Gary needs to kind of give clarification to the council on how that side of it works, and the fact that now because we're not a traditional hospital anymore, and doing the transfers more commonly, that's one of the things they knew they'd have to take on a bigger workload in that aspect. At least that's their mindset. So, anyway.
Question about the van. How do we serve the van? Who do we have to drive it, and who are the personnel assigned? Where do they come from?
Go ahead, Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
We have paramedics on the staff that qualify. It doesn't require a special driver.
Right.
It doesn't require special insurance because it's considered cargo van and not a special driver's license, commercial license. But we do have paramedics, and we'll have to
Okay, yeah, a flexible implementation
Right.
out of the hospital
And
staff.
I'm not sure an EMS or, not a paramedic, but a emergency tech could actually drive the van if it's a non-emergency thing.
Right,
So,
right.
to even take away from our paramedics having to be off. So,
You're not primary offering health services, you're transporting someone. Yeah.
with what's happening with Medicaid and everything, it's just an excellent thing to bring into the community. And I know with Huntsville not having a hospital anymore, there's a lot of need there for even in that area of northern Madison County, if we can even get into that area. But anyway, so.
And it might help us a little bit with the rural housing transformation fund, because one of their criteria that we're going to ask for is how we're making healthcare more accessible throughout the community. So this would be a small part of that as well.
Yeah, and you tie that with telehealth and all that, and you've really got a nice little, nice little package going.
Some technologies in there as well.
Okay, any more discussion about anything? You guys got anything you want to add? Good job over there, ladies. Lana, good job, everybody's.
The ED numbers are great.
Yeah,
Not that you have any control over who comes in, but the ED numbers are great.
and so is the bottom line,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to reflect that.
Yeah.
And since we weren't live when I gave my little testimony of my friend, I'll repeat it now so people out in the community can hear that my friend was in the last couple of weeks with a very intense condition, and his stay, he said, you guys did an excellent job, and how much improved it was over a stay that he had 12 to 18 months ago. So I just want the community to hear
Thanks, Kate. Excellent.
the
All
good
right.
report.
Without any further, do I have a motion to adjourn the workshop?
So moved.
A second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Therefore, we are adjourned. We're, again, July 21st is our next monthly regular scheduled meeting at 2 o'clock here at the auditorium. And then our next workshop is August the 4th, and again here at the auditorium at 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy.
Okay, we'll see you. Good luck on that pump.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We need water, quick. Thanks.
Thank you for coming in and helping get her rock and roll. Appreciate it.